Hello, listener. So, you like scary movies? Well, it is a creepy night, and with all those crazy lunatics out there, well, you really shouldn't be alone. Ooh, you look so freaked out right now. Now I suggest you listen very carefully. Subscribe to Class Horrorcast, or I'll gut you like a fish. Enjoy the show. I'll be watching.
Come in. William Castle, the producer of this motion picture, has a question for you.
Do you believe in ghosts? Some people believe in them. Others do not. Personally, I do. And I feel sure that when you leave this theater, you too will believe in ghosts. No more dictation today. When you came in, you were given a special ghost viewer like this. And here's how it works. Would you please change the color of the screen? Thank you. You must only use it when the screen changes to this kind of a bluish color. Then you raise the viewer to your eyes and you look at the screen through it. If you believe in ghosts, you look through the red part of the viewer. If you do not believe in ghosts, you look through the blue part. Would you please change the color again? Thank you. Now, when the screen resumes its normal color, like this, remove the viewer from in front of your eyes until the next time the screen becomes blue. Oh, one more thing. If someone sits down next to you during the picture, it would be helpful if you would show him or her how the viewer should be used. And remember, if you believe in ghosts, look through the red part. If you don't believe in ghosts, look through the blue. Happy haunting. Goodbye for now. Shall we go?
Welcome to the Plastic Fangs Podcast.
There are ghosts around us all the time. Most of them, they can't hurt us. Most of them don't even want to hurt us. But there are exceptions.
I represent the estate of your Uncle Cyrus.
We have an Uncle Cyrus?
Cyrus recorded this message 6 weeks ago. He asked it to be played for you in the event of his death.
I've instructed my lawyer to deliver my last will and testament.
A key?
A key to what?
A key to your new house. This house, it is a one-of-a-kind home.
Arthur, we've got some papers to sign in the library. After that, I would love to take you and the family around a tour of the house.
This place is awesome!
Now I know I'm dreaming.
Oh, your uncle was quite a collector of many things.
What the hell was that?
For these 6 people,
You're wasting your time. It's all sealed up.
the only thing worse than being trapped in a house with a ghost
This house is not a house. We're in the middle of a machine, powered by the dead.
is being trapped in a house with 13 ghosts.
We got company!
Where? I can't see!
How close is it? Close enough to hurt you? Go, 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 go!
Can I rely on you not to get me killed?
I guarantee nothing.
Welcome to Class Horrorcast and Plastic Fangs Podcast Watch Party. My name is John Ramsay.
This is Rodney Self.
And this is Aaron Doyle from Class Horrorcast.
Welcome.
Yes. And to all those listening, today is National Paranormal Day.
Yes. May 3rd.
May 3rd, National Paranormal Day. It's it's not para
jeans.
Yes.
Actually, I looked it up. You want me to
Yes.
give the exact definition of it?
Yeah, go ahead.
National Paranormal Day, which occurs on May 3rd, is a novelty, unofficial holiday meant to celebrate and encourage paranormal phenomenon. So that's anywhere with UFOs, the unexplained, and our favorite, ghosts.
Are you guys a believer in anything paranormal?
I believe. God, I'm about to, I don't want to start quoting Peter Venkman from Ghostbusters, but I think there are things that are unexplainable, and like with anything, I try to like deduce it with a scientific, simple answer. Not to be like, it's a simple answer, I'm going with that, it's easy. More like it's probably something odd that happened. It's probably a weird phenomenon, but it's probably something that's explainable. But there are some things you just cannot explain because it's outside of my my purview of reality, if you will.
Absolutely. Guys, I think it's time that I kind of had a special reveal to y'all. See, I used to be a child psychologist, and one of those child psychologists that one of my patients, if you would, kept hearing voices and stuff like that. And, things kind of, went sideways. Well, one night after dinner with my wife, this patient was in my house and they shot me, and I died, and I've been a ghost this whole time. So when you ask if I believe in the paranormal, I kind of am paranormal. So
I was really wondering where you were going with that.
Oh, I knew exactly where he's going. As soon as he said, I went, okay, I know what you asshole.
Yes.
I was Bruce Willis all along.
I was. But real
and
answer.
Then later I went and destroyed an asteroid.
I did. Real answer, absolutely. I believe in the paranormal. I've had experiences happen multiple times. And it kind of freaks you out when it does happen. How about you, Aaron?
I'm on the fence. And not to say that I don't believe, I really want to believe, to be honest.
You're Mulder.
Basically, yeah. In a lot of things, not just, I would say, ghosts. I also love the idea of UFOs and aliens and things like that. And sometimes I go down like a huge rabbit hole.
Yes.
And I start to convince myself that I'm going to go and find out stuff and whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I would like, it sounds weird because a lot of people have strange experiences and, they would tell you, no, you don't want to have the experience I've had or whatever. I would like to maybe be a bit more exposed to some of that stuff and see how I'd feel then.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I've always been interested by it.
I've been fascinated by hell. I mean, Rodney and I think I've been to this town twice. The Mothman.
Oh yeah.
In
Point Pleasant.
Point Pleasant. I want to say Pleasantville. I'm like, that's wrong.
Yeah. No.
In Point Pleasant, West Virginia.
No, we did not. We did not visit the fictional town where Reese Witherspoon and Paul Walker and Tobey Maguire and the guy from Dumb and Dumber,
Jeff Daniels, please.
Yeah, well, yeah, but yeah, Point Pleasant. I mean that town just has an eerie feeling when you get there.
See, I never got that feeling.
Yeah, I got a definite.
You think you might have built it up in your head more?
Maybe. I know when we got there, when we got out of the car, and the sun was shining. It was kind of close to midday or what have you.
Yeah.
In my head, I kind of heard, the Nick Cave song "Red Right Hand." Like from Scream. It's like the whole time we're there, it just kind of had an eerie feeling.
It's a tiny old town, that's for sure, and it's right there on the Ohio River.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, for that, yeah, it's like you've kind of felt like you went back in time a little bit, but I didn't get a weird like. Whoa. But again, also too, when you and I went, we had a kind of a group with us, and that was the second time I'd gone.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I went a third time after that. And it was always on the way to a convention. But
I remember your trips there. But yeah, I mean, with Paranormal Day, it's a celebration.
It's a celebration.
Yes. Of all things paranormal. So what better way to do that than to have a watch party of 13 Ghosts?
Ooh.
From 2001. Not now. The original 13 Ghosts is streaming on Shudder now, which, you know, we're going to get into some really cool facts about 13 Ghosts and all that. But I am actually streaming this one, the 2001 version, on Amazon Prime. John,
I didn't know it was on. Oh, did you rent it or is it free? Oh, okay, gotcha. I ended up just buying it on Vudu. I was like, I'll buy it. I'll buy it, whatever.
and Aaron, how are you watching, sir?
I was gonna. I recently got the Scream Factory Blu-ray. I was gonna watch that, but I haven't got my room set up to watch the TV while we're doing this.
Right.
So I have to rent it on YouTube again.
Damn.
So YouTube.
Well, very cool.
Time.
Yep.
Well, as you know, with these watch parties, we're gonna queue it up, and what we're gonna do is be at the ready, and I'm gonna do a countdown, and we're gonna hit play.
Yeah.
Are you guys ready?
If my shitty remote does it well, then I'm ready.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so, and a 3, and a 2, and a 1, and we're off. And this, of course, is a Warner Brothers film, which recently Warner Brothers released the Mortal Kombat movie on HBO Max. Maybe we could have 13 Ghosts versus Mortal Kombat.
Hey, why not?
Yes.
I'll go, since it's the beginning of it, I'll go and hit the stats here real fast. This movie released on October 26, 2001. It was actually the week of Halloween that year. It was directed by Steve Beck. Writers were Neil Marshall Stevens and Richard. Oh God, I'm going to butcher his name. Diovidio. The budget was $42 million. The box office was $68.5 million. So that means it didn't do as well as they.
Hey, it made a profit.
No, it didn't, because the marketing is the same as the budget, so they didn't make that back.
I went to public school, John. So,
I got you. I hear you. But it was shot in British Columbia in Canada. In the U.S., the film opened ranking second, making just over 15 million. It's when it first opened. It spent 10 weeks in the U.S. box office. But also, I could be wrong. I don't know if 9/11 had anything to do with it, because this was about a month and a half after 9/11 happened. So I don't know if everyone was like, let's go see a movie. You know, I don't know. I don't know if that is what affected it or not. So
we're also at that point in early, 2000s horror is kind of in a transition. I think the Scream, the I Know What You Did Last Summer, all of those kind of things had kind of played out, really. And
because if you look at it, two of the leads in this are, one is from Scream, the other one's from the parody of Scream.
And as you're watching, obviously zero fucks given to the fence as tractor trailer barreled through, and we're here in a junkyard.
I don't know if I'm behind or not. F. Murray Abraham just pop up on yours?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Good.
And speaking of Scream, there is a very sweaty Matthew Lillard.
It's that sweater. Look how thick it is.
Well, he is definitely layering his clothing. So
very bizarre choice for costume.
Yeah. And then the plastic jacket over that. Oh no, that's why he's sweating.
I'm going to go out on one here as well, and it's probably a controversial thing to say, but Dark Castle Entertainment have probably made many of my favorite movies, to be honest.
Really?
Like, I love House on Haunted Hill. I love Gothica. I love this movie. What else had they done?
They did. I got a whole list. They did Splice. Did you like that from 2009? That's a no. The Reaping from 2007.
That was
okay. Oh, did you already see House of Wax?
No, I didn't, but I love that.
That was 2005. Now they did a Return to House on Haunted Hill. I don't know if that
I got that on Blu-ray recently. Okay. Have not watched it, but don't expect much.
They did kind of. That was their last one before they kind of said we're going to change it up. And Rock and Rolla was 2008 under them. Do you know the reason why this company was even created? Dark Castle.
It was William Castle thing.
Exactly. It was because they wanted to start doing all the old William Castle movies into remakes, as like this was House on Haunted Hill, and then this. And when I was looking up, like Joe Silver, Robert Zemeckis, and Gilbert Adler were the three biggies to get behind that. And Susan Downey, she was the VP of it up until 2009. That's Robert Downey Jr.'s wife, and she's a big producer in Hollywood. So I was like, holy shit, I didn't even know that. And to tell you guys a little secret, well, I think Rodney already knows this, but I wasn't a big fan of this film because honestly, I didn't watch it up until 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
yeah. Because my brother for years was like, you got to watch this movie, man. And so I finally watched it. I was like, that was M. Beth Davids that just popped up.
One thing I will say is when I did watch this back again, it wasn't as good as I thought it was.
Well, when did you see it? How old were you?
Jesus, I can't remember, but I've seen it so many times, and like I haven't watched it now for a couple of years, but I had this assumption. I was like, that's a fantastic movie. Now I did still enjoy it, but I don't know if I feel it's as good as I remembered.
You're not as adamant as you were.
Yeah, like at one point I would have been like, really adamant that like this, it's so much fun, it's great, everything about it is great.
Well, it's kind of weird because these these films have kind of started gaining a little bit of a following, here lately.
What was it? To quote Noah Cross from Chinatown, you become who becomes respectable? Old men, politicians, ugly buildings, and whores after time. So yeah, this is like we're going like 20. This is 20 years old now at this point. So it's kind of like I think it's also one of those movies too. If you're a kid and saw it, and you kind of have like for us, like we saw stuff in the 70s and 80s. You have a nostalgia for it.
And here you see the truck with blood just spraying all over.
I call it the Carrie semi.
Yeah.
or the Shining semi.
Right. And of course he's putting on glasses, which is kind of a throwback to the original movie, because it was 3 glasses and stuff.
You know what that process was called?
What?
Illusiono.
Yeah,
because you remember he also did the Tingler.
Yeah,
and that was in Emergio, I believe. No, that was House on Haunted Hill. What was? Hold on, I have it up there. It was in Percepto, the Tingler.
But in order to see these ghosts, they have to have these special glasses. So that's kind of like their
they live.
Yeah, kind of in a way, but more of a tribute to the original.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they had a gimmick for the original where it wasn't exactly 3D glasses. You could change out glasses. One was blue, one was red. If you were too scared, you could put on one and you didn't have to see the ghost. But if you put on the other one, you could see the ghost. And
there we go. We got the first kill. That this ghost is.
Which ghost is this? The Juggernaut?
No,
the Juggernaut.
Yeah. So I know that each one has like a special name and everything. I can't. Aaron, how about you?
Yeah, this is him.
yeah.
This is the Juggernaut. Yeah.
That one's the Juggernaut.
All right.
Yeah, SWAT team shot and killed him when he broke free of his handcuffs because apparently he was like this huge serial. Like when I say huge, like big and prolific serial killer. Yeah, you're seeing him now. Because when I was watching this, I didn't realize it was full of bullet holes. That's what his gore was, and that's how he died. Because a SWAT team, he broke free of his handcuffs while he was alive when he was in custody, and they just lit him up. Yeah, look at him throwing at everyone.
And he runs right into the thing to trap him, but of course, sacrifice, in order to keep this ghost,
Apparently, he's the most evil and dangerous of all the ghosts in the movie.
Well, I mean, he definitely appears that way for sure.
He's a tall drink of water, this guy. He's scary.
But God bless Matthew Lillard, man, and his acting. I mean, whether it was this or SLC Punk or, Scooby-Doo, Scream, all of that. Just, I mean, his facial expressions and, I mean, from a horror standpoint and all of that, just a great actor. But, I mean, here you get that huffing and,
he's playing his character at the end of Scream a lot.
Yeah,
where he's all like, "Oh man, my parents gonna be upset." What was his name in that? Oh, Stu. That's they got F. Murray Abraham.
Yeah,
what was the other guy's name in Scream?
Oh, Stu and
Billy.
Oh yeah, Billy Loomis. Yeah.
I always remember that line that Lillard has. What he's like, "I'm feeling a little woozy here."
Yeah, a little woozy here, man.
Yeah, it's just like.
Shut up! Billy's yelling at him. Oh, skeet. But when I looked up Matthew Lillard, I didn't know he was like a kid actor.
For real?
But one of his he was on Nickelodeon. It was a short-lived Nickelodeon TV show called Skate TV.
I remember Skate TV. Yeah,
he went. His name was he alongside the Skate Master Tate. His name was Matthew Lynn at the time, so I don't know if he decided to go with Lillard later. He was an extra in Ghoulies 3. Ghoulies Go to College. And then he was also in Serial Mom and Hackers too. Hackers and also.
We're being introduced to the family, which includes Monk is in there.
Tony Shalhoub.
Yeah. And Shannon Elizabeth, obviously from I Know What You Did Last Summer.
American Pie franchise.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. She wasn't in. I know it. She was in the Scary Movie.
She was. Yeah, she was only in Scary Movie 1. Yeah. She had she was like on a roll, and then it just kind of stopped. Not to say stop, but I think Tomcats didn't help her in the early 2000s. I think that movie didn't help.
I don't think so. But we saw the name Greg Nicotero as one of the special effects people in this
K&B Studios, yeah, because Howard Berger does. I think he was like the main guy doing the work on this, like one of the main instructors, if you will. Oh yeah. But I write here, I said, she's best known for American Pie franchise as Nadia, the foreign exchange student who the pie fucker tried to get down with. That's what I wrote in my notes.
Yeah, Tony Shalhoub. Just
there he is.
Looking up Tony Shalhoub. That's an actual adjective.
That's an acting classes. Give me the Shalhoub. Thank you.
There is actually they go into pretty big detail on the backstories for all the ghosts, but you don't really get them in the movie.
Nah.
But I do know on the Scream Factory, I'm not sure about any other release, but on the Scream Factory disc, they have a special feature called Ghost Files, which they made at the time they were making the movie, and it's like a short documentary. It gives you a breakdown of each of the ghosts and their backstories.
I just watched that last week.
Oh, nice.
It's on YouTube, actually. Yeah.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, whoa, that's a lot of detail. I don't think they ever said this in the movie on any of them. Oh, that kid there, that's Alec Roberts.
Mhm.
He only did 4 movies. This was his last movie, and he played Elian Gonzalez in the TV movie A Family Crisis. I just wanted to do the Dave Chappelle. Elian can stay. That's all I wanted to say for that.
Well, and the thing is that he was recording his own little show, so kind of a future podcaster.
Sure. Oh, and okay. The doing research, I looked up like as much detail I guess I could find. They have a nanny, that's Maggie there, but they have no money because of the fire and all this stuff. And how do they afford a nanny if they're poor? That was a goof there that had popped up. And like, well,
yeah, I'm not sure, man.
Okay, now keep an eye on that stain there on his shirt. It's going to change sizes over the next minute and a half.
Yeah, that definitely is different.
It got different. Oh, it's going to get different too. Check it out when he goes answers the door. Did you know Tony Shalhoub did the voice of Splinter in the new Ninja Turtle movies? Those live action ones?
Yeah,
I didn't know that. I had no clue.
You could definitely tell. Yeah, that stain is bothering me, man. Oh my God, yes.
Yeah,
dude.
My continuity is off.
So right here.
Yeah, that stain. Oh yeah, this actor J.R. Bourne is playing Benjamin Ross. Here comes the exposition. Here's how we're going to get to the fireworks factor. That dude's a Canadian actor from Ontario. Really, this is probably one of his bigger roles, especially because of what happens to him later. It's very memorable. But one of his first acting gigs, I thought this was kind of cool. He was in a Canadian movie with a fellow Canadian actor, Roddy Piper, and the movie was called Jungle Ground. A little FYI for you from 1995.
Very nice. Oh, and here we go. We've got 2001 internet video of Uncle Cyrus. Yes. Windows 98 media player, I think, is the actual. So weird seeing old technology.
I think at this time, I clearly didn't own a computer, and I remember going to the internet cafe in downtown Fredericksburg, and I'm just looking at this going, oh man, this looks like me trying to watch like trailers for like on QuickTime on there.
Yeah, so they got a weird key, and it's all coming together from Uncle Cyrus.
I never really looked up F. Murray Abraham and like his background and accomplishments. I was just like, how about that? He's of Syrian and Italian descent, which I was like, oh, I never knew that. I thought he was Italian. Born in Pittsburgh, but then was raised in Texas. And he was just known as Murray Abraham. And so when he got into acting and stuff like that, he went, I'm going to put an F on the front because that's something different. Just Murray Abraham is anybody. But he has a lot of quotes. Let's see here. Yeah, he said Abraham added F to his stage name in honor of his father, and stated Murray Abraham just doesn't seem to say anything. It's just another name. So I thought I'd frame it. So I thought, oh, that's kind of cool. And at this point, he's already an Oscar winner for Amadeus.
Yeah. Well, and so, I mean, the kid is obsessed with death.
Give me some death.
Yeah. The, the nanny, that guy is assuming the nanny is his wife, but it's not. And so he had to bring up my wife is dead, by the way.
Hi. Thanks for bringing it up. Was this Thanksgiving already? I got to bring up bad stuff. Thanks. Yep. Thanks, lawyer. Oh, the nanny, her stage name is, but I don't think she acts anymore. Raw Digga. Rashia Fisher, that's her real name. She was only in this and another movie, a hip opera, Carmen, with Beyonce and Mekhi Phifer. She was also in the part of the Flip Mode Squad, and we all know who's in the Flip Mode Squad, correct? Busta Rhymes.
Yes.
And what has Busta Rhymes been in, Aaron?
My favorite movie of all time.
Yes. So there's that connection right here.
Yes.
Halloween Resurrection's such a good movie.
Dangertainment.
I was only talking to I think it was Emer and Grace on the Because You Were Home podcast, and that movie came up and I was defending it again.
Mm-hmm.
It's like so bad, but at the same time I can't help but be like, yeah, but we get to see Busta Rhymes.
He gets to play Michael Myers, kinda. And he gets to fight Michael Myers, definitely. I need to go back and watch it, because when I first saw it, I just dismissed it and went, yeah. But I do need to go back.
You know what? Like I've seen that movie a lot, and I probably the first 5 to 10 times I ever watched that, every time I was like, wow, it's so bad, it's trash. And I don't know, it's in the last couple of years it's kind of grown. I think just like the gimmick of it, it's like so bad it's good, kind of.
Also, what year did that come out? Was it still in the 90s or was it 2000s?
I think it was early 2000s.
Oh, okay. But you definitely have a love for this movie. You have a love for that time period.
And sometimes I feel, sometimes I feel weird about it, because a lot of people don't. Like, a lot of people, look towards the 70s, 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not saying that I don't, but I would probably put this era for me, maybe just for me personally. Now, if you were to ask me, like, sit down and be a critic, obviously none of the movies that I ever defend, I would say, are Oscar worthy or good at all.
Right.
But yeah.
Hey, but it's what moves the needle for you.
Yeah. Halloween Resurrection came out in 2002. So yeah,
so a year after this. Okay.
Again, it's that early 2000s horror transition period where it was an interesting time, and as we're watching with this here, we, the audience, know that Matthew Lillard is not the power guy, but they don't.
He's part of the supergroup Power Station.
Yes.
If you will.
Yes. Kind of his outfit is a little Devo.
It is. It is, isn't it?
Funny, actually, I just, when you guys mentioned Power Guy and Power Stations, I looked up some behind the scenes stuff, and on the Scream Factory Blu-ray, they were talking about they actually needed to use nearly an entire power substation to generate the light needed to illuminate the entire house.
I mean, that makes sense, because this house already, you see the house and it's got the cryptic writing and glass, all throughout. But I mean, if I show up at that house, I don't know that I'm gonna go in. It's already,
it's something out of like I want to say reverse Eyes Wide Shut. If that makes any sense.
Yeah,
they want you to see what's going on. It ain't that secret.
Yeah,
until the everything gets shuttered and closed.
Another thing I like about this movie as well is the fact that I think probably about 80 to 90% of everything we see is physical.
Yes,
like they used 3 miles of glass walls, and 8,500 square feet of glass were eventually used to construct a set.
Wow.
Bridge welders were brought in to fuse the house together and used 5 tons of steel in the process.
Damn.
Like the fact that they built that set.
Yeah.
And I listened to Steve Beck talk about it. He said it was such a headache because they had to be conscious all the time of shadows and reflections and light sources and different things. And it became like just a simple scene became a huge deal.
Right. Yeah, because they had the crew all wearing all black, so if there was a reflection, you may not be able to see it, maybe. But apparently quite a few got through in the final cut, though. Keep an eye out for that. Yeah, because like that's the one thing. Like watching this, you're like, this is all practical. If there's any like CGI, especially too, this is what 2 years after The Matrix. You know, so, and it's Joel Silver because he was also a producer on that. So it just, I was like, but that makes sense too, because the whole William Castle thing, they're trying to go back to a practical movie. That's why K&B, was even hired too, because every ghost is not augmented with a computer. It's all there in camera on the day right there in front of you.
That's something I miss, I think, nowadays. I think a lot of movies do it okay, but something like Zack Snyder's Justice League or something like that, some of those things can be overkill for me with CG and stuff. It can get a bit much. That's why sometimes I like to go back and look at something like this. Like, I don't think, like, nowadays a studio would probably laugh at you if you suggested building a set with,
because they'll just say we'll do it in the computer. Why would we build all that?
Why would we even?
Yeah, well, it's weird, isn't it? How it's changed the entire industry.
Yeah. I mean, and really, you get kind of a Resident Evil vibe,
Yeah.
I was literally just about to say that guy could play Albert Wesker.
He could.
You got to do something with that little ducktail thing going on the back of his hair, but yeah, he could be AW.
But yeah, I mean, it's. I mean, the symbols and all of that. I mean,
it is a pretty movie. Yeah. I will give you that. It's like you're not going to see this anywhere else. This is very different. I mean, look at all that. It's like a satanic Rube Goldberg machine, if you will.
Sure.
It's so well lit. Like, it's crazy when you look at, because I would imagine, like I said, I would imagine shooting this with reflections and then just light in general, it was probably really hard to make sure that things weren't like oversaturated or you had no crazy reflection or whatever.
That are just, magnifying light.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because if you look at it, it's nothing but lenses that they're shooting through. So they got to hit it at angles and have the light hitting at angles so it's not blinding anyone. Or hell, you could burn somebody because those lights get hot. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is different. Because when I was watching this, I was like, why couldn't they just done like maybe like a blue screen or a green screen in the background? But then I was like, well, did they have the technology to erase stuff easy like they do now, 20 years later, even 15 years later? So it's like, it was ambitious. I will say that.
We get some more of that fine Matthew Lillard acting.
I thought he was looking for the bathroom because he's got bad diarrhea, because it's going to hit him again. Check it out. Boom!
And he keeps saying, "Oh no, Cyrus, Cyrus, what did you do? Oh no, earlier he had said, you crazy bastard or whatever, or crazy genius, and it's." Again, alluding to, was Uncle Cyrus a hunter? Oh, you could say that.
Jeez. Innuendo, ambiguity. Oh, poop! Where I have it here. I'm looking for my man Shaloub. Okay, there we go. Okay, here's one thing I didn't even know either, which I thought was a cool, how about that? Tony Shalhoub, F. Murray Abraham, and Shannon Elizabeth, they're all of Arab descent. Their backgrounds. This is the first American movie where the three leads are all Arabic, which I was like, I did not know that. I thought that was pretty cool. I thought that was and plus being a first, I was like, Because it means nothing or it means everything. I don't know, but I thought that was just a cool, how about that? That's awesome.
Well, and it's I think it's definitely an interesting tidbit. Also kind of one of those things where another thing for horror is the fact that horror is always kind of ahead of the curve as far as inclusion of
inclusivity.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why the horror community and the horror pod fam, for the most part, very much open to everyone, every walk of life you can think of. Okay. They're starting to show some ghosts now. Yeah.
I was about to say that first one with the baseball bat. That's the Torn Prince, correct? Royce Clayton.
Yep.
Gifted and famous teen baseball player from the 40s and 50s. What I didn't understand was the little lady and her baby son, but I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I don't get it. I don't know. Was it the Pilgrimess, the other lady who just popped up, who was like in the stockade kind of thing? Yeah, I think that was my bad.
I mean, and that's the thing about this. I think if you were to do this movie now, there'd be a lot of like marketing that would go into the background of a lot of these ghosts and stuff like that.
Yeah, where you can find it online. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about to say, if they made it now, I don't know if they would do the glass house. I think they would make it like an old haunted house looking movie. Mm-hmm. That's what I think. They'd still use the glasses. But that's talking about if they did that now. What if they redid this? I think they could do a franchise on the different ghosts, almost like they have. Is it like The Conjuring? Like how they have the like? Is that with the nun and all that? Yeah. They could do the same thing because they have so much material on all the different ghosts.
I know at one point, Crypt TV and Screen Gems were to. I think they were trying to option something to do with the original and make like a short and then see what the reaction was. And if it was good, they were going to look at doing a series. But I don't know whatever happened. I don't even know if they made the short or it just fell apart.
Right. Yeah, I never know. But it's so much material. Because I was like, because like looking up all the different ghosts, I'm like, these like little dossiers that we don't even really know. They don't even really mention at all.
Yeah. And
I get a bed. Yay.
Oh, a little creepy doll head.
That's normal.
Yeah, sure.
Not really, but that's this place is awesome. What has she been doing? They having she's been living like how they do the Three Stooges, the 3 bunk beds.
She's been sleeping on the floor.
I guess the whole thing she's in is going to come up here in a second. The bathroom. Oh yeah, he has to go. You see that?
Ooh, and again, sweaty.
Yeah.
Matthew Lillard definitely perspiring. That's for sure.
I wonder if those those glasses. I wonder if they ever tried to go on auction for anywhere. If you had the opportunity, would you buy those glasses, Aaron?
Probably. Just when you said that there, I was like,
damn.
I wonder.
Because because they got the little lights in them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I guess technically, if you knew somebody who's good at fabricating, you can maybe even make them, but it wouldn't be the same though.
That'd be a really good gimmick.
Mm-hmm.
For people like me.
Would you buy the replicas if they made them?
I would, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I would.
Yeah.
Well, at least they made that where you can kind of have privacy taking a Duke.
Yeah.
With the glass.
That reminds me of the glass bathrooms in Japan, where when you go in, the walls kind of they fog so no one can see in.
Oh, gotcha. This is method acting right here. The slobber coming out of Matthew Lillard's mouth.
Again,
he was in the moment.
Like in Scream, no stranger to letting his bodily fluids
fly.
Yeah. Man, I'm sure it was a lot of work putting all the Latin writing on all of those windows
and they're all from what I gathered, it's like a plastic overlay, so they had to be stuck onto all the walls.
Oh, wow.
Oh my. Well, that makes sense because if you're gonna, that's labor intensive. All you need is two guys and a squeegee and you get them on there. Don't leave any bubbles though. Get them bubbles out of there.
So that kid there we saw a second ago, the arrow through his head, he's the firstborn son. So it's the ghost of a spoiled boy named Billy Michaels. He loved to pretend to be a cowboy. One day another little kid challenged him to a duel, but Billy's cap gun was no match for the boy's real steel-tipped arrow.
Oh, damn.
Unlike most of the ghosts, he is mild threat, never attacking anyone and just saying, I want to play.
Sounds like every kid that's trying to take the controller away from me when I'm playing Nintendo. I just want to play. Nah, wait your turn, kid. Put a quarter on.
Seems a bit harsh as well to a kid to challenge another kid, and he brings a cap gun and he takes out an actual arrow.
Yeah.
Through his head.
Sounds like something out of a Stephen King short, you know?
By the way, dude has some fat stacks of cash. He's
the lawyer.
Yeah, he's
Benjamin Moss.
He's gotten what he needs, and now he's ready to go. And of course, it looks like they're all trying to go, but the house has different idea.
Well, wouldn't he? So, but I mean that this means that the lawyer was set up by Cyrus.
Yeah,
because there's no way of getting out of the building once he removed that suitcase.
Ooh.
Okay, here we go. Here's the scene. That makeup does look painful.
It does.
Like it's real slashes. But this is the angry princess, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, her face.
Oh, here we go.
Oh,
check it out. First kill. Pow! I remember for years seeing this GIF pop up, like in chats and stuff like that. Going, what is this from? Not realizing it's from 13 Ghosts because I never. Oh my god, look at that. Oh wow, that's it. Now that's what I wanted to see more in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff right there.
Definitely gruesome.
Oh yeah, sorry. For those at home, the lawyer just got chopped in half.
Yeah,
with a glass, sliding glass door, if you will.
Yeah.
So her that ghost backstory, I think, she was a victim of abuse, and I think she had all these complexes about how she looked. So she would get like more plastic surgery, which explains some of her assets,
her augmented reality.
Yeah. And I think eventually she ended up the whole idea with the slashes and the knife she has, I think, is the knife she used to cut her own throat.
Oh, because she slashed at her whole body, and then the killing blow was on her. Okay. Now, this ghost, the angry, I also called her AKA Chesty LaRue. And I found a little joke, made me laugh for this scene. What do ghosts use to wash their hair with? Shampoo. There you go. You're welcome. Oh, I got some more coming. Don't worry.
Oh, geez.
See, look. All she wants to do is take a bath. Jump on in, Shannon. Room for one more. This actress who plays the angry princess, Shauna Lawyer, she attracted a small cult following thanks to this role. But there was a rumor that was going around that the role was actually played by a porn actress, a woman named Aria Giovanni, using a pseudonym, but this was wrong. But apparently the Miss Giovanni, the porn actress, was in an adult parody titled 13 Erotic Ghosts that came out a year later in 2002. FYI. And this was the only role that this actress played, was the angry princess, Shauna. I don't say Lawyer, but Loyer.
Oh, that's just a gnarly shot. The bathtub. A little bit of Stephen King's It.
A little, yeah.
Yeah, definitely a face commercial for facial soap, like
for
use
Noxzema.
Dove. Yeah, Noxzema. There you go.
She is. I didn't realize until just there now, but she is so happy with everything. Like she was so happy with the bed.
Mm-hmm.
Now she's throwing water on her face and she's like overjoyed.
She's just so happy she can take a crap without someone banging on the door. Because she's been living this harsh life ever since their mom died. See, now, like when I first started watching this movie, I didn't understand what the rules were with the ghost.
Mhm.
I didn't realize even if you cannot see them, they can still get you.
Sure. Yeah.
Which made me go, why didn't she just kill everybody in this room? The angry princess, because she was right there. But I thought it was only if you saw them now they can get you. But apparently I was wrong about that.
Yeah, because it does kind of give that illusion.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you'd think like, well, if you're not looking directly at, it's almost like that haunted house video game. If you're not looking, then you're good.
Would you live in a house like this if you inherited a completely glass house?
Oh, hell yeah. Dude, the only thing I don't want to do is have to pay for the heating. But because of all the glass in the States, I don't know how it is everywhere else, but they're going to start legalizing the growing of weed. I just do hydroponics inside the place because of, well, actually not even hydroponics, because there's going to be plenty of sunlight. So half of the building would be a greenhouse. The other half I'd live in. I'll be able to pay the electric bill and the water bill.
That's what I was going to say.
But hell, if you're going to be like this house is so futuristic and out there, you would think it would already have like solar panels and stuff like that too. Yeah, because like they don't really show, and I wish they showed like more of like an establishing shot of the outside of the house, so you kind of have an idea of what you're looking at, because they have that weird angle where it's just not say a close up, but you're just right at the front door and you kind of don't know what you're looking at when they go in. I mean, I get they wanted to disorient you as the audience, but I wish they kind of had like an outside, like almost aerial like shot, so I can have an idea.
Yeah,
because it feels like, and maybe that was the intention, but like there's no reference points. At no point can I, in my head vision, okay, they're upstairs or they're here or there. You don't really know.
Yeah, they're like right here. You think they're on the main floor near the front door because they just used a chair to break or try to break the door. But yeah, I feel more like, well, they're on a movie set. Oh,
yeah.
Who did the ghost invite to his party? Any old friend he could dig up.
Oh my!
What's the ghost's favorite thing about Thanksgiving dinner? The gravy.
I'm getting flashbacks to our Halloween 3 watch party.
That's why I looked those up, sir. Yeah. That's why I did it. I did it for Aaron, but I mostly did it for you, Rodney, because I know you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
They're really dragging out the whole, that voice calling the kid.
They're calling me.
Yeah.
Also, as well, from what I gather, there's a part of this that's if you watch it subtitled, it gives the wrong subtitles for what one of the ghosts is whispering. I can't remember, but I just remember hearing that on a YouTube video somewhere.
Apparently the mom is talking, but then you hear you hear like faint whispering, but it's the Juggernaut saying like, listen to your mom, but they changed the caption to something else. The subtitle, which I forgot what it was though.
I know the original audio is "Your mama's a hoe."
It was Luis Guzman. Your mother's a whore.
And you can kind of take the fact that he has a scooter and the long hallway shots, that maybe they're paying a little bit of an homage to The Shining.
You know what? I didn't even think about that. You might be right.
Mm-hmm.
And also to the Razor scooters were the rage
in
the turn of the century.
Razor scooters were like after the inline skates. It was like inline skates, Razor scooters, and now it's like the friggin'
Is it are the inline skates the wheelies?
No, the rollerblades.
Oh, rollerblades, my bad.
Yeah.
So rollerblades, Razor scooters, wheelies. That's the evolution.
Yeah, the Heelys.
Heelys. Oh,
yes.
My bad. I like calling wheelies.
Yes. Oh, that's kind of that's kind of frightening.
That lady shaking, that was the Bound woman.
Mm-hmm.
Her backstory, real quick: Susan LeGros was the richest girl in town and was very popular. Her one flaw was the way she toyed with boys and men. During her senior prom night, she was killed by a jilted ex named Chet Walters. Oh, there's the torso.
Yeah.
God, they just keep on showing all these ghosts. A star quarterback, after catching her cheating it with another guy, her ghost lures Bobby into the dangerous basement. So there we go. There it was. Yeah. And then the torso, that guy was all wrapped up. That was a real amputee victim. He was missing both of his legs. That character, if I can find him, I had it. Here we go. Jimmy the Gambler Gambino was a gambler in the 1900s, the early 1900s, who caught the attention of the mafia. After he lost a boxing bet and didn't have the money to pay up, the mafia cut him into pieces and wrapped him up in cellophane, dumping his remains into the ocean. So where does that mean they so hold on, did Cyrus go down in the ocean to grab his ghost? His ghost appears as a torso with a severed head nearby. So yeah, we just saw that. Is that the only time we see that ghost until the end? Maybe,
possibly, yeah.
Wow.
Well, we'll tell you that I do follow the Bound woman on FetLife. So
I bet you do. I bet you do, hombre.
What's your username on there? Actually,
it's Plastic Fangs at Plastic Fangs Podcast. Yeah, we try to reach out to all people.
Diversify, baby.
Yes, absolutely. And, I'll go ahead.
I was gonna say the majority of the ghosts, 5 of them, and several of the minor characters were all played by Canadians, since this was a Canadian production. Again, filmed in British Columbia. It's cheaper for production to hire locals. Kind of reminds me of how they did Zombie Nightmare. Pretty much everyone in that movie, because it was shot in Canada, were all locals except for maybe a handful.
Hey, do you remember those necklaces like that Bobby's wearing? Those the metal like.
Why does it remind me of the what's like that song? Come my lady, come my lady. What was that? Those assholes.
The butterfly.
What was it EFO or something like that?
No,
not that. Shit.
But Crazy Town.
So. There you go. Yeah, I remember those necklaces. I said, what? Yeah, those assholes. This is what. This is the. Is this the? Oh wait, is this the Dyer mother? Is that her name? The Dyer mother? No,
it's his mother.
It's no, Bobby's. She has a certain term. No, the withered lover. If you notice, she's technically there's F. Murray Abraham. If you look at it, because she's walking around with that IV, she's technically the 4th ghost. And if you look at it, her carrying around the IV is supposed to be for room numerals 4. It's a little thing there. I found in my research. I was like, well, would you look at that?
They're very clever.
Yes. Shallow and pedantic. Yes.
I thought it was funny that Matthew Lillard is like, his character is like, y'all don't have to scream, you can chill out, when he's been doing the opposite of chilling out for the majority of the movie so far.
for whatever reason,
he's like running around like a lunatic,
Right.
screaming and sweating everywhere.
Yeah, and then he's like, "Hey, no need to yell and be scared, guys."
Because I have the audio off, if just watching this with him and they're following him around, it's almost like he's trying to find a party, and he's promised them that it's gonna be cool, man. And he's all coked out, and so he's just like, I don't know where the fuck it's at because of the way he's dressed.
And like any horror movie, obviously it's very smart to split up as they are. Ooh, and who do we have here?
Which one's that, Aaron?
I think that's the Hammer.
Yes.
I think. So his backstory is a happy and honest family man and blacksmith. He was falsely accused of stealing by a higher-up named Nathan and threatened with exile from their old western town. He refused to leave and his family was lynched and his band of thugs by Nathan and his band of thugs while walking home from the town market. Seeking justice in the corrupt town, George took his blacksmith hammer and killed those responsible. But the townfolk chained him to a tree and drove railroad spikes into his body. His left hand was cut off and his hammer was cruelly attached to it. His ghost is one of the more angry spirits, and I will not continue that because it gives away stuff towards the end.
Right.
Well, I will tell you that the actor certainly nailed his part.
Wow.
Yeah, it's okay when John does it, but
no, it's not. I'm ridiculed. Don't feel like you're the only one. The Hammer's character kind of reminds me of like a really crazy version of like, is it John Henry?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like a crazy macabre version of John Henry.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder if they're going for that.
Yeah, it could be inspiration for sure.
Could be. Oh, why wouldn't the ghost eat liver?
Why?
It's because he didn't have the stomach for it.
Oh.
Why did the ghost go to the big Labor Day sale? Because he's a bargain hunter.
Oh, God. Oh, man. Mm-mm.
Get this shit out of my face.
Wow. Wow, that's
hey, I bring the funny, man.
Yeah, yes. And there we go. Look. So,
oh yeah.
Yeah.
See, I thought this was a female ghost, but not realizing it's a dude.
I only realized this like 3-4 weeks ago when I got the Scream Factory release and I was watching the commentaries. I always thought this was a female.
Okay, so I wasn't the only one. Good.
Oh, there you go. Gratuitous breast.
That was side boobs, sir.
Yes. Well,
Peter Griffin would say it was side boob theater.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That was done really well there as well. That was a really beautiful shot of that.
Yeah.
It was. I enjoyed it. Beth Davids is like unrecognizable from Army of Darkness.
Yeah.
In this, because I look at her, I'm like, Ash told her that's just pillow talk, baby. I was like, oh my God, I didn't realize that was her. Like, I think my brother had to point it out. He goes, you know who that is, right? I went, no. He went, dude, it's was it Sheila? I think Sheila from Army of Darkness.
Have y'all ever played the video game The Evil Within?
Yes.
You let me borrow it, and I was too scared. I couldn't get past the first 10 minutes. I went when you're hiding in the lockers. I went, I'm done. I got to turn this off.
So that ghost right there that's coming after with the box on the head. Yeah, the jackal kind of has a little bit of a resemblance to a monster or a couple of monsters that you fight in The Evil Within.
Right.
Except it's a safe on their head.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I wonder if this might. Well, I mean, that those cages were what, like, used in like insane asylums back like in the before the 1900s, like 1800s, and maybe before that, so people wouldn't bite, the doctors and or I guess orderlies.
Yeah, before they had the Hannibal Lecter mask, right?
But same idea, yeah. It's just there's.
No, I was just going to say, when you were talking about asylums and stuff there, I had been watching something earlier today about, I can't remember where the asylum was in the States. And it got me onto that whole story with JFK's sister. She was apparently one of the first people to have a lobotomy.
Rosemary Kennedy, yeah.
And I started to look into that. And then I watched some footage of a lobotomy. Dude, wow. Like,
hold on. Were they going through the nose, through the eye, or actually they did? Oh my God.
Dude, it's so rough. Like, I have no idea how these people didn't just die instantly, because it just looks so rough. And they're like hitting this thing. It's like a hammer and chisel or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like yanking this thing around.
Yeah, it's just twisting and spinning it. It's like literally ripping and scrambling the frontal lobe. And the frontal lobe is that's who you are. Everything else in the back of the brain, that's more of like, for like memory and breathing and to keep you life support, if you will. The rest is like, that's you, your personality. Let's change that. It's like, whoa. I mean, it's, oh my God, it's disturbing. It's just disturbing to be like, that was like a practice. That was, and the guy was like, I forgot the guy's name. He's an asshole. Look, I can do two at the same time. And you're like, you piece of shit. They're just ice picks. That's all it is.
Man, it's so, I didn't, like, I had a vague idea of how it was done, but I didn't realize like how rough the whole thing was.
Yeah.
Because to me, it didn't look like a surgical procedure at all. It was just like guys going, well, look, let's jam this in here and see what happens.
Yeah. Like some guy in his garage. Hey, your kid's acting up. I got something for him. It's like, oh my God. It was not even like medieval. It's more like just not even as to say pseudoscience is giving it too much credit by putting the word science into it. It's just like, oh, this will make it better.
Yeah. And even with Rosemary Kennedy, I think after that went, because she had a botched one or whatever, which I mean, if it's botched, I can't imagine how bad it must be.
Yeah.
But like, from what I gathered, they just went, yeah, no, she's fucked. Oh, well, sorry about that.
Yeah.
And I was like, there was no, that was kind of it. If you had
came
something
to us,
like that
we
done.
take no responsibility.
Basically, yeah, from what I gathered, like that happened so much that, and nobody really had because I was like, was there not a huge deal over this? But apparently they just went, well, sometimes it doesn't work out.
Would that have been the 50s when that happened, or was it the 60s with when it was in the heyday? I think it was like maybe 40s, maybe 50s. Because the only thing I can think of is the reason why a whole lot wasn't like, let's not talk about it, because it's the dirty secret. It's like keeping up appearances, especially because of the culture coming out of World War II. It's like, yep, bad things never happen, and we're never going to talk about future bad things that happen.
Yeah, it's so while we were talking about lobotomies, they kind of went in a little bit into like the history of the house and what's going on, and the mythology. And of course, it's a book. It's it's as you do in horror movies. With
what is that book's name? I know I wrote it down somewhere. Where's that book at?
Do you think we get this level of detail in movies in recent times? With just the little things like the IV on the ghost and her being the fourth ghost, and then just all the little backstories with all the ghosts and the house and the characters and the arcanum and the book.
I think there is, but then it either doesn't make it out of the writing process to screen, or if it even makes it to screen, it gets cut because they go, it's not pushing the story forward. So I mean, I couldn't cite an example offhand, but you always hear like stories of like, oh, we had this whole idea for this, but they said, well, it doesn't push we didn't shoot it because it doesn't push the story forward. So, but the thing is, I don't know. It's like, doesn't that make it? It's like reading a book compared to like an adapted movie. Doesn't that make it richer? And if you can have that in there, isn't that part of the story? Isn't it pushing it forward? But I don't know. They're also looking at 90 minutes keeping asses in seats and having people come in, after the next show and having it sold out. So I mean,
it definitely, it jumps around a lot, and you add, you're introducing not just all of these main characters, but you're also introducing all of these ghosts.
Yeah, it is a lot to absorb. Ambitious. I'm going to keep on using the phrase ambitious, or the term rather.
It kind of reminds me of like the Batman movies when they started introducing more and more characters. Like, oh, here's Robin, here's the love interest, here's Two-Face and the Riddler, and you gotta, let's cram all that shit in there, and then of course let's have Matthew Lillard just again with his.
Now, what's the thing with the flares?
I think it's supposed to keep the ghost away, because she threw one at the jackal. He's all like, me. Yeah. So I think, that kid looks like he's ready for a buffet.
He is called the Great Child, is it?
I think you're right. Yeah, it's the. Oh, where are you? Yeah, the Great Child, and the mother, I believe, is the dire mother, the little lady. Harold Shelbourne was a special needs man who never outgrew diapers and had to be spoon-fed even as a fully grown adult. He often made baby sounds, goo goo gaga. After being mocked, teased, and tormented relentlessly all his life, he caused a massacre at an old freak show where he and his mother, Margaret Shelburne, lived. Some of the freaks had kidnapped and killed his mother as a joke one night. Ha ha! Jeez. And the circus owner, Jimbo, had Harold mutilated beyond recognition. Good. Oh, yeah. His ghost appears as Harold did in life, with a small patch of hair, a bib covered in vomit, and a cloth diaper. That sounds like a Friday night for me. I don't know what to tell you about. Get that? You can do that over the weekend.
Yeah.
And the mother, because I think some of the ghosts were connected to her freak show. I know these two, and I think there's another one. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the little lady, the mother, the dire mother, Margaret Shelburne, Harold's mother. Shy little lady, standing 3 feet tall. She never could stand up for herself. At the freak show where she lived, she was, raped by the tall man, another circus freak, and gave birth to her illegitimate son, Harold, whom she loved more than life itself. She smothered Harold and spoiled him from infancy and never stopped as he grew. This is the main reason for Harold's mental handicap. The two were abused to the point where Harold was killed, and almost the entire circus after Margaret died. As ghosts, they remain together. Yep. See, you don't even get any of that backstory by watching the movie. You're like, that could be half a movie right there. That story.
Because I wonder, reading some of these little blurbs and just from watching the Ghost Files special feature, now they never mention it that any of this stuff was shot or anything, but I would have thought if you had those little blurbs, was the intention ever to, as the ghosts show up, have flashbacks of their, know, what led them to be the way they are or whatever? Now I know it probably would have made the movie like 2.5 hours long.
Exactly, yeah, because I mean this movie is 91 minutes, so they're trying to get them in and get them out. So I don't know. I mean, would I have enjoyed that more? Yes, because I think it made it a little more enriched. But if you imagine, okay, and I hope I'm not spoiling anything, because I'm thinking if you're listening to this, you've seen the movie. I hope, but wouldn't that just be like the ending is not as big as the stories of the ghost, you know? Because I mean, I think right here is where they start explaining why the ghosts are here, right?
Right.
Yeah.
You sold people's souls for money. How deprived is that?
Yay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. I mean, bad. It's Gordon Gekko, but it sounds good. Oh, but that last lady in the stockade thing, that's the pilgrimess. Isabella Smith came to North America as a colonist in order to find a new life after being an orphan in England. The tight-knit community ostracized and ignored her and used her as a scapegoat, being accused of witchcraft. When crops and animals mysteriously died, she denied such accusations, but she was trapped in a burning barn but managed to escape unharmed. That sealed her fate, and she died of starvation after being condemned to the pillory that she carries with her as a ghost. Her skin is badly damaged. So that was her backstory. They didn't really highlight her. She maybe popped up a few times throughout this movie. Just as kind of like, I'm staring at you from afar as the jackal's going after you. So has it, do they come up with the idea that the Tony Shalhoub's wife, like it was a setup by Cyrus?
Mm-hmm.
They do mention that.
I mean, that's what it's alluded to right here.
It's alluded, but is it?
I mean,
is it
definitely
confirmed?
I think it's pretty much confirmed. I mean, he got so angry he punched him.
Well, because it's his wife. It's not. I don't know if it's because he trapped her there. That's what they caught her and trapped her and brought her there. Okay, here we go. Mm-hmm. Here's the story.
There should be.
So pretty much this is telling us this how the Black Zodiac, which is all the ghosts together.
Mm-hmm.
These pages, weren't you going to be doing something, Aaron?
Mm-hmm.
What are we going to be doing with these copies? Or am I put something out there that you don't want?
No.
Oh, okay.
I had gotten the files, an exact copy of each of the pages from that Black Zodiac book or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna distress some stuff, and I might do giveaways and different things on Instagram.
Nice.
So it might be something cool. Like they'll just be in like a plain black cheap frame. And then if people want to put them in their own. I actually don't know if you can find those files to download online. Someone emailed them to me.
Oh.
And I don't know if he had done it himself in Photoshop or not.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they're readily available. I've seen them on like Etsy and stuff, but I done a quick Google search and I couldn't find them.
Damn. Huh. I'm wondering if you try to contact Howard Berger. Hey.
And there's so many things like this in these kind of movies that like I think people would eat up. Like 13 Ghosts has quite a cult following.
Yes.
And like even though it's not a great movie, and there's so many things like that have, I suppose, for a fan of it, like something that you would call iconic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess with this movie, it's probably the book, the glasses, and then obviously the ghosts. Or I know there's a guy on, I can't remember the name of the store, but he does a bust of the jackal, and it's absolutely incredible.
Oh wow. I was thinking if you're a real big fan of this and you had glass doors in your house, by just trying to copy the language or whatever, post it on there on your on your windows or your doors rather. But you'd have to for that to work, you'd have to have a lot, so it looked not just who wrote on this one window or this one door. You'd have to have a lot, so it looked a little authentic.
You're the 13th ghost. Ooh,
what?
Yeah.
Step on up. Why did the game warden arrest the ghost?
Why is that?
He had no haunting license.
Oh wow.
Dude, was that Aaron? You went, What do ghosts eat for supper? Spook Eddie.
Oh,
they get worse.
Yeah, they do. I think.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
I don't know. It makes my nailed it joke seem far superior.
You're like Einstein compared to my I'm like that kid. I'm like the big kid in this movie, that big ghost kid, the great child telling jokes over here.
Yeah, I mean, and they did. I mean, a very basic, brief synopsis of all the ghosts. So you've gone through a majority of this movie not knowing any of that. It's almost like they could have done that synopsis before. That way, when you saw them, you kind of knew them.
Right, but then the whole thing: are they getting to the story? Are they moving it forward? I mean, I get it. It's the whole thing is like it's literally in the title, 13 Ghosts.
Right.
But would that be pulling? I don't know, man. I really do think this should be expanded.
Mm-hmm.
And because I think it could be like given, like, not to say this didn't give it the right treatment, but like give it a deep treatment where it's like it's this whole mythology, this whole lore.
Right.
It's ripe for it. It could easily be done. Well, let me take that back. They have the story to do it. I don't know how easy it'd be to do and to get the money, but they got a lot of material. And that's the whole, because I know this is supposed to be like the twist, like he's supposed to sacrifice himself, Tony Shalhoub, to become, the 13 Ghosts, to open up is pretty much opening a portal to hell. That's really what it is, right?
Yeah, I can't remember the exact. So whoever gains control of, I want to say that thing is called the Arcanum, possibly. I'm not sure. They'll have control of both the past and present, or something like that. So yeah, I think it's essentially like you open some weird gate to hell thing.
Oh.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly. And I had looked this up and it.
Yeah, because let's see here. I'm trying to find it. The creation of a 13 Ghosts, sacrifice, love. Come on now. Where I'm trying to. The machine powered by the captive ghost allows its user to see the past, present, and future. Oh, okay. So it's not opening a portal to hell. Yeah, like you just said. But yeah, I wish they kind of like had it so you had the idea of what this thing was capable of before that, because that's kind of saying you can make all your dreams come true, without giving any kind of evidence of that's what they're trying to go for.
Yeah,
because the original 13 Ghost, I think it was the guy inherited a house, and I knew it had ghosts inside, but I don't know what the full story was. Oh, there's hidden money in the house apparently. So that's really what that was. That's what the original 13 Ghosts was about.
About hidden money, but I mean the lawyer.
If you look, that was like their nod to that, I'm guessing, because he picked up the bag.
And I mean, it's the most steampunky contraption. I mean, this whole house is kind of, but I mean, they've shown it so much that when the characters go in and they're surprised, by looking at it, I mean, we're kind of like, yeah, isn't it great? Because we've been looking at all of these, different cogs and spinny things the whole time,
Big crazy, was it like a what do they call that thing?
Gyroscope?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Worst line ever.
Swinging for the
Matthew
fences.
Lillard, yeah.
Oh. Now they did get me with old F. Murray Abraham here, because I was just like, oh man, I was like, because I kept on thinking, well, he must be the 13th ghost, right? Because I mean, yeah, you didn't really see how he got double cross, how he got killed. You just saw that, in the aftermath of the juggernaut in the scrapyard.
Right.
So how much time has passed since the beginning of the movie to now? Or do they even say?
I don't think they do.
I don't think, yeah. So is this makeup, or is he still just rocking like, I faked it, but I didn't die? They never really do explain that. I mean, I get it. He's supposed to make everyone, like, if they see him, he looks like a ghost, but is that supposed to be makeup, or is he really still rocking a crazy slash across his throat? I know that question is not going to keep me up at night, but I'd like to know, definitively.
So right up until that scene where he pushes her into the chair, that for some reason there, I don't know why, but the soundtrack for me goes really weird. It's like some kind of Indiana Jones music.
Yeah.
And now it's gone back to like a ghost kind of feel again.
Are you sure you purchased the right YouTube?
I have one of those like Bollywood knockoff versions.
You got the Turkish Star Wars.
Ouch. Hey, you really got to hand it to Matthew Lillard in this.
What's a little ghost's favorite game? Hide and shriek.
Oh god.
Yes. This is garbage. You're killing me.
And
they're gonna suplex him. They got Matthew Lillard on the ropes.
Yeah.
Good God.
Yeah, just
that was gnarly. That was a gnarly kill. He made his spine go the opposite way.
That dude kind of looks like Lurch.
A little bit.
Does. Because I saw them in the behind the scenes. They're applying makeup onto the Juggernaut, and he's just a big dude, like scary big. Like who's the guy who played an Ega in Jaws from Moonraker? What was that guy's name? You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Oh, he was in Happy Gilmore. I believe that's Mr. Gilmore's jacket.
Oh yeah.
Oh, what the hell? Man, I used to know his name. The director, Steve Beck. I believe this was the last movie he directed. Stop me if I'm wrong. Was this the last one that he did? I think it was.
No, he done Ghost Ship, I think, the following year.
You're right. My bad.
Which I fucking love.
You love
as
that,
well.
yes. So, okay, he did this and then that.
And I think the thought was with this movie, his career was going to go like in an upward trajectory. And it didn't really move anywhere. It just kind of went along in a straight line. And then he done Ghost Ship, and I think they thought the same thing again, and then it went down. So it got lower than low.
That sucks.
I know, yeah. And even when I listen to him talk about it, like he seems to have a lot of fond memories, but I couldn't help but feel like there was a lack of excitement when he was recording a commentary track in 2020 talking about it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
It just seemed a bit like, whatever.
Yeah. Because, I mean,
unfortunately.
Because I think it says that he had directed commercials, like big company commercials, but I'm hoping he was able to still keep on doing that after Ghost Ship, not previous because he came from like a background of like special effects. Like he worked on the Abyss for when he worked for ILM, and he also did special effects stuff with ILM for The Hunt for Red October. And when I heard about that, I went, oh, well, the ghost ship thing kind of makes sense because the whole, being underwater and stuff like that. So, but I was just like, man, I thought he would have, I mean, the phrase I think of when I'm watching this, I'm like, this is a capable movie. It's not like it doesn't tell a story. It's not like it's not shot well either. It's just kind of, it sucks that he didn't get to have a bigger career.
And I always found it strange, and it's nothing against him, but from what I gather, before he directed this movie, I think the only thing he'd ever done was like he directed like a commercial for Toyota or somebody, company possibly.
GMC and Chevrolet he did.
And it's like, I'm very surprised that, when Joel Silver and all these people were putting together Dark Castle Entertainment, that I know he does tell the story. I can't remember exactly how he came across the project, but I feel like you probably wouldn't get that nowadays either. Like if you had a company put together and they wanted to remake, William Castle movies or whatever, I can't imagine they would pick somebody with very little experience and be like, hey, here you go.
Well, I think that's the one thing too about Hollywood. Part of it is what you know. A big part of it is who you know.
Yeah.
And they might have saw like, oh yeah, we worked with him on this, we worked with him on that. And everyone kind of knows each other, especially if you have a good attitude. No one wants to work with an asshole unless and the way they're doing that is, well, do they make us money? Well, we'll deal with the behavior. So I think, I have nothing to base it on, but I think that's probably what it came down to. But because then it's like, well, his name is as the director and it didn't make the money they wanted. Not to say he was blacklisted, but more of let's get somebody who's going to make more money.
That's definitely what happened to him, I think, unfortunately, because look, I think what he was able to do was quite good. It's enjoyable, it's fun. Look, it has some things wrong with it or whatever, but I think, like you said earlier about budget versus, box office, it didn't really do anything. And then I think they had such big intentions for Dark Castle at the time, and then Ghost Ship didn't really do that well, and House on Haunted Hill didn't do that well, and it's just kind of like every time I think they thought like, okay, the next one is going to be the one that's really going to
be our breakout. Yeah.
And it just now I know all those movies have cult followings and they have so many different releases and people clamor to find out more. But at the time, I think it was just very like, yeah, we made like $1 million and everything was said.
Yeah. Because they're not looking at 20 years down the line. They're looking at, well, what's going to get me the money now? Because 20 years from now, I may not be here. F. Mary Abraham, you son of a gun. If you notice with the samurai swords that were back there, one of them was from the Highlander TV show that Duncan MacLeod used to carry around. It was a katana. I'm guessing the prop master probably had like a replica, like, hey, let's throw that in there because we're going to need more swords. Watching F. Murray Abraham's performance, I was like, yeah, he's a good bad guy. He really is. I wish there had been more screen time with him, kind of just to be able to chew on the scenery, because he's had a huge career, this guy. Stage, and of course Amadeus. He's great in that movie.
Yep, he was set up all along.
Oh, you're right. Okay. I couldn't remember. And I just watched it like a week and a half ago. Was this a setup? That's how I would be in the studio mixing a record together. Like, what am I doing?
I was just going to say that's like me trying to get the audio right for recording.
Yeah. I've been largely silent because this whole kind of going into the ending of this film, there's so much that's happening. And It's trying to wrap your head. I mean, even though it's a 90-minute film, there's a lot of shit in this movie. You know, I mean, it's packed.
I love how they're ghost crowd surfing him.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a double-edged sword as well, because as much as I kind of would have preferred it not to be as cramped,
yeah,
and maybe a bit more fleshed out in certain areas, then at the same time, I don't know if I would sit through like 2 hours, 2 hours, 15 minutes of this.
Yeah, unless it's really compelling.
Yeah.
Unless it's something where like if I watch like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, oh yeah, I could sit down and watch that, no problem, because you're just like, oh, these are but yeah, I don't know if I could do 2.5 hours.
Yeah, if it was like,
not to sound like an ass.
Yeah, if we had like another 45 minutes to an hour left of this movie, I don't know if it would have worked as well.
Jumping out the window.
But it definitely, I didn't realize how fast paced and how cramped it kind of is as regards story and what happens.
Because honestly, when I watched the beginning, I felt like it was a longer opening, and it was really short. It was really, really short. But yeah, you're right. It's much quicker than it appears to be.
And perfect timing.
I call that dangerous double Dutch.
I wonder, did they actually blow the entire setup?
Oh, they probably did.
Because I figure you have to get rid of it anyway.
Right.
Yeah, but that's a hell of a way to do it.
I know. Yeah, it's like you get one
Who's
chance
cleaning
if it
this
doesn't
up?
work.
That too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd lose my mind. Okay, you're the janitor today. What? It's a lot of glass, man.
Now we got to look at the outside, kind of.
It's just the opposite side.
Mm.
It's like they're leaving a party. I'm out of here, man.
And the ghosts are free. Yeah.
And it's funny, that reminds me of House on Haunted Hill as well. They do a similar thing in that when they show you the house, you get this weird like angle from down below where it looks up on that cliff.
Oh yeah, because you're like, what's the front of it look like? You're just seeing that other side of it.
Yeah.
But it did make it creepy. Like you ain't getting out of that thing.
Funny, actually, similar idea. The house like locks itself up, and and the story involves money.
Yes, it does. Well, I guess that was a William Castle trope. Because even the Tinkler, it was all about it was a big setup just for money. Yeah. Oh, Mr. Sardonicus, same thing. Yeah.
See, now I could have done without that bit.
Yeah.
Where the wife shows up.
Well, I think they maybe had to have closure, you know.
Now, I get it in a sense, but it really feels like we had a thing here in Ireland years ago called the Big Big Movie, which was basically on our main TV station here at like, I think it was like 6:30 on every Saturday evening. They would have like a kids movie. So you would have things like Dennis the Menace, all these kind of 90s movies for some reason were always shown. And like scenes like that always remind me that we have like the nice family music and the family hug, and it's like, oh, everything's fine, everything's cool.
It's like, I don't think they had an ending.
Would you like to see a more rated R version of something like that?
Oh, like of this?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, I want something with like an ending where it's not the favorite ending of a general public.
Right.
Not to say like the ending of Seven, but something where you're like, oh God, that was a gut punch. Because then it'd be like, oh yeah, there's real circumstances.
Yeah.
Because and even if he, like, let's say he sacrificed himself, Tony Shalhoub's character, I don't know if it would have, like, would I have cared as much? Because like when he started yelling at the family with the coffee stain getting bigger and smaller in the beginning, I was like, well, he's kind of being a dick, But
It's,
so that kind of turned me off on, like, well, is he a good dad or is he just being an asshole?
And it makes me wonder as well, and it probably ties into what you guys said earlier about, and you always hear it as well afterwards, like years down the line.
Mm-hmm.
I guess when some of these directors and whoever works on a movie, when, I don't want to say they're coming to their end of their careers, but maybe they don't have to worry as much about, ooh, I better not say this about whatever. A lot of times you find, you know, the studio or the producer who was never good enough to be a writer or director or whatever is the one that comes back with notes and says, okay, we need to get rid of that. That's too rough. That's too out there. We need to have a, you know, a nice wrap up at the end. Everything needs to be okay and happy. And
or the worst, they do a test audience. I didn't like the way it ended. Made me feel sad. 1 person out of 40. And it's like, really? You're going to take that one person's opinion because they might have been like, well, it would have been nicer. Yeah, but it's not the theme or the tone of the film. Yeah. What's his face? Eli Roth was talking about that on Joe Bob a couple weeks back because he was like their first guest of the season. And he was talking about like test audiences. It's funny that you mentioned that. Like, what if a producer says this? And that's when, test audiences are really, my God, they're unfortunately crucial to, like, especially in the last 20, maybe 30 years, but definitely 20 years of let's make sure everyone likes it and everyone goes because we want everyone's money. And it's like, well, it's especially a horror movie. Shit, you should not be trying to make everyone happy in a horror movie because that's where you're supposed to just go off the rails if you want to or if you can, as long as it's entertaining.
Because I think Rob Zombie talks about that as well. And he was like, yeah, after my experience on Halloween, I just only want to make my own kind of movies. And I don't like test audiences. I don't want anybody to tell me anything. I'll just make the movie. It'll find the people who like it. And I kind of want to be done with it after that. I don't really have any interest in doing this, being controlled by guys who literally have never had an idea until you have one.
Right.
Yes.
And then they have all the ideas about how your idea is bad.
Yeah. They never created, but they critiqued. Yeah. That's
that must be frustrating.
Well, that's the biggest thing about money making. You know, is it art or is it movie making and money making? I mean, is it art or is it a business?
It's called show business.
Right.
So,
so
that tells you right there.
You know,
that's the unfortunate constraints on art.
Right. And with 13 Ghosts, you know, being over, you know, watching it again, it's a anxiety type of movie. You know, I mean, I don't really understand the recent resurgence, and maybe it's because it's the lore. People are kind of, you know, the lore of the 13 Ghosts and the backstories are kind of interesting and all of that, you know. But I mean, this really was, you know, let's do up a mainstream, you know, popcorn flick, you know, and try to make money. And, you know, it's, you know, we're going to take Sharon Elizabeth and Tony Shalhoub and Matthew Lillard. You know, people will just go see them because they're fans of them, you know,
because they still got heat.
Right.
But yeah.
So it's, I don't know. It's one of those things where it just feels like, well, you know, they put some love and care into it with the practical effects and the house and all of that. It just, I don't know. It just, it kind of is what it is, you know. And
as much as I'm not a big fan of the movie, but I am glad it exists because, like Aaron was saying, it has so many practical effects in it,
right?
And that's a thing that does not need to go away.
Yeah,
you know, and I dig it for that a lot. It may not be my favorite movie. It's probably not my top 100, but in a technical aspect, oh my God, it needs to exist, and I'm glad it did because people got the, you know, like I love K&B Studios. I knew about K&B Studios before they were K&B Studios because of Evil Dead 2, you know,
right,
and Creepshow 2, you know, and them all meeting in the 80s because they were just making shit. And so, I mean, I dig that, they worked on that. Well, it shows because they did some crazy special effect makeup effects. So I'm glad it exists.
Well, and the fact that this movie was rated R and they were able to get away, I mean, not get away, but I mean, it was R because obviously there was cussing.
I think it's mostly because of language and nudity. And nudity. Gore, you'll see the same stuff on AMC now on The Walking Dead.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that you could have brought in Spielberg and Amblin this movie up. You really could have.
Yeah. You know what might have changed this a bit, because it looks really like clean and crisp.
Mm-hmm.
If they maybe shot it on some older looking film, I don't know, would that have maybe changed the look of it? Kind of like how like J.J. Abrams, how he shoots, which is like you just said, very much like Steven Spielberg. Would that have changed the tone of it? Because this feels more digital. This movie feels like it's more in a digital age. I don't know if it was shot on a digital camera, but it definitely feels more in that vein.
You got to remember, VHS by 2001 was largely gone, right? I mean,
that's true, but they had 13 Ghosts on VHS.
Exactly. And Aaron just had a heart attack.
Yeah.
I almost tried to find this on eBay. I went, do I have it? Oh shit, it's up on the wall.
So in the early 2000s, with DVD becoming a thing, HD, picture quality was all about. It was the huge rage. I mean, you started getting those really heavy, HD TVs. Those. In fact, I've got one. One of the really heavy, like
a plasma.
Yeah, TVs. Well, and
I know that the UK they were doing flat screens and like letterbox type of screens way before the States were doing it. Because I remember seeing that in Love Actually, and that was like 2002, and I was like, "Man, they got flat screens! Holy shit!" So yeah. Everything in that early 2000s was going towards HD, high def,
right?
Yeah.
And it was picture quality. So it makes sense that with this film coming out and the time that it came out, it was like we need to. Make it look clean. We need to make it look, a certain way, because DVD would upscale a lot of, the audio quality, the video quality, and all of that. So,
and if you have a huge screen, people were trying to get away from imperfections.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. And it's. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if down the road they did do something more with 13 Ghosts and try to franchise it or what have you. I mean, especially now if Dark Castle Films, became resurrected or anything, that they might try to tie in all of those.
Well,
films
that's
together,
funny that
right?
you say, because they still been doing movies. They haven't stopped.
Yeah, right.
The next one they had, because they did Orphan back in 2008.
Okay.
Now here's the thing. It's the last movie they did was in 2021, Seance.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know anything about it, but the movie before that was Suburbicon, which I believe was a George Clooney movie that he directed. So they're still getting they're still doing relatively, not say bigger movies, but they have bigger stars in it and stuff like that. The next movie, but it's TBA, is Orphan First Kill. It's going to be a prequel to Orphan, and this is Dark Castle Entertainment. So I don't see them going away at any time unless something happens, like because of the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I mean, they should try to redo 13 Ghosts. I think they still have the at least I think I think they still have the rights to it, because I know this is weird. This movie, it was under Warner Brothers and Columbia released it, so which is like, isn't that like kind of like Sony and Warner Brothers? So but who knows why? Probably maybe because of like ownership of 13 Ghosts, the old one.
Well, I would kind of be remiss if we didn't get some critic responses to this. What did the critics think?
Oh, the critics? It's funny you ask.
Yes.
Ed Gonzalez of Slant Magazine rated the film 2 out of 4 stars, panning the film's lack of scares and predictable plot twist. However, Gonzalez commended the art direction, which also, while also stating it was underutilized. Well, I don't know about underutilized. Now, this made me sad when I saw this one because I really do like this guy, Elvis Mitchell. Do you know Elvis Mitchell? I think he's awesome. But when I went, ooh. Elvis Mitchell, New York Times, a production so mammoth in its stupidity that it took 2 studios, Warner Brothers and Columbia Pictures, to wrestle it to the screen. And then I found the Roger Ebert one. Roger Ebert praised the production value, saying the production is first rate. The physical look of the picture is splendid. However, he criticized the story's lack of interesting characters, loud soundtrack, and poor editing. In 2005, Ebert included it in his list of most hated films.
Wow.
Yeah, in 2005. I'll do it 4 years later. But now, there are other praises, but I couldn't find too many. It was just like short little sentences. And they're like, does its job. And you're like, really? I'll go in a little more detail. But I mean, if you bring up Rotten Tomatoes, I think it's a 16% on Rotten Tomatoes. I still think they're like we've said multiple times here. There is room to expand on this thing, and it would be cool if they did.
Yeah, I mean, this could totally be a Netflix show. I could see it, going over many different seasons, and kind of go that route with this.
That would actually be really smart to do it like that, because then you don't have to worry about having it in theaters and having that. You could just have the season out and people can watch it. That'd be a much better idea.
So kind of thinking on it, I think the reason why it is popular is one, I think early double lot stuff is starting to make a comeback and people are, starting to dig it again. What's old, is new. And, during the pandemic, not a lot of stuff being released. I think people go back and kind of look at some of the classics, if you would, especially when they're 20 years old, like this one. But yeah, I think it's because people see it, they like the lore, they read it, they get the Shout Factory DVD, Blu-ray with the extras, and they want more.
So when Park saw that, he loved this movie, and as soon as it hit, I think DVD and VHS, he bought it. So
wow,
he was one of the OGs for this movie.
Yes.
Yeah. But I guess before we wrap, I got one more joke for us.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Did you save the best for last?
I wouldn't say that. The best. I already hit you with the A material.
Yeah.
Why did the ghost starch his sheet? He wanted everyone scared stiff.
Oh.
Is this thing on? Hello?
The gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, don't ever say I never gave you nothing.
Well,
oh no, I lied. There's one more.
Oh Jesus! All right, bring it.
Where do ghosts buy their food? At the ghostery store.
Oh wow! Yes. It's all right, John, because your jokes will not ruin National Paranormal Day.
That's true.
Yes.
If anything, it augments.
Sure.
There we go. Sure.
Yeah.
We should have done Casper, actually. Just thinking of it now.
I've only saw that once, and my biggest hey, look, break stance.
Yes.
Dan Aykroyd. That's my favorite part. And then I'm like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah. Maybe next National Paranormal Day
we should do an alien movie. We should do something like like Fire in the Sky or something like that. Yeah.
We could do every single episode of X-Files on live stream.
Robbie's not a fan.
Record.
Dude, I'd watch. Oh, I'm there. I love X-Files, man. Even the
Right.
shit ones I love.
I'm sure there's another member of the Horror Pod fam that would gladly take my place in that. But yeah, happy National Paranormal Day.
Look out for the probes.
Yes.
What's that? Sage. Put sage around your house and
salt. Make yourself a salt barrier.
And even do a life sacrifice. You never know what you might need.
Absolutely. Be sure to follow the hashtag HorrorPodFam to see what we're doing for Plastic Fangs Podcast, as well as Class Horrorcast, but also the other members of the Horror Pod fam, where you'll unlock some cool stuff by following that hashtag.
Yep.
But in the meantime, you can follow the Plastic Fangs Podcast on all of our socials at Plastic Fangs Pod on Twitter, at Plastic Fangs Podcast on TikTok. John, what else
at Plastic Fangs Podcast on Instagram, Plastic Fangs Podcast Facebook. Aaron, where can we find and follow you at?
Where are we going to get you?
First Class Horror on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Same on TikTok. On Twitter, it's class_horror. And then I have the website then, which is www.classhorrorcast.com.
And that's a mighty fine website you have there, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Indeed. Well, until the next time, this has been Rodney Self.
This is John Ramsay.
And I'm Aaron.
And get bit, y'all.